Stay tuned to see how I take this plastic item from a dollar store and turn it into a mold that I can use to make repeatable deviled egg serving dishes. I start with 2 huge salad bowl containers that are plastic, and I put the egg holder in it and measured how high it would be sitting within that form. And then I'm using really soft clay. This is the clay that I use to make molds, so it's constantly being reused. After I did that, I then scooped it down to meet it at the line that I drew. So I had to remove quite a bit. Then I'm filling in the back of it because I needed some support because the piece would collapse if I didn't have it strong enough. You could also see that there were little holes in the actual container, so I had to fill those in, and I'm going to be kind of fixing those up in a bit. I'm flattening it out so that when I put it back in the container, it'll stay on top of the clay I already had supported underneath. And now I'm just cleaning it off and trying to make it as smooth as possible, removing all clay that I can. And you'll be seeing me in a bit filling in with the little coil around the edge so I didn't get any seepage underneath. It was a little bit finicky trying to clean off all the clay, but it worked out in the end. It was just a little bit fussy at the beginning. Lots of little spaces to clean up. Then I added Murphy's oil soap to all of the areas. So I'm filling in each of the depressed areas as well as the top surface. And I put a little bit of soap around the edge as well. And on top of the clay, even though the plaster won't stick to it. The next step is to figure out what the volume of the cylindrical area is going to be. Its volume equals pi r squared times height. Feel free to stop the slides to look at them more slowly. And I remove 33%. To calculate the volume that I needed for the plaster, I am taking the radius, which is half of the diameter, and then I'm taking the height that I need. I'm ready to get going. So I have the correct volume. I have about 4 liters of water in here, and the volume is going to rise up to about right here. I choose the scoop for my plaster down here, depending on how big I have to go. So I'm going to use the medium size. When I'm pouring the plaster in, I bring it through my hand and use my hand a bit like a sieve. And I am not mixing anything with my hand until the very end. And at that point, I will only use one hand. I've been letting the plaster settle for a bit, and now I'm ready to start mixing. I have always done this by hand, but I know that professionals use a blender for it, or a blender tip on the end of a power tool. But this works fine by hand, so I am going to do that. I am just going to look around to see if I need to clean anything up before I start, and I think I'm good to go. I have easy access to all the things I'm going to be pouring it into. So then as I do this, I am making sure there are no chunks or glumps, and that's what I'm mixing out. We should be mixing for about 2 to 5 minutes, depending. I am using lukewarm water. We want to try not to get a lot of bubbles in it, but can't be helped at this point. So I'm just kind of low
mixing. And you never want to walk away from it after you've put the plaster in it. You stay in the room, don't leave, or you'll forget about it and you'll have a big solid chunk that's not going to be useful because you didn't really mix it up properly. Feels good. I don't feel any chunks. It just feels warm, like you're putting your hand through a warm milkshake, let's say, because it is thickening.